British activist and commentator Tommy Robinson is back in court this week. At stake is one fundamentally simple question. Was Tommy in contempt of court when he set off on that infamous live Facebook stream, a 75-minute long broadcast outside a courthouse in Leeds in the United Kingdom, when he was giving commentary and analysis, and yes, coverage, on the second of 3 trials of alleged sexual groomers, gang rapists, and traffickers? This is what Tommy Robinson was doing, covering a case that he felt the mainstream media was ignoring. He was actually, as you saw in that live stream, very cautious. In fact, questioning throughout it. I think I can say this, right? I'm good to say this? Okay, perfect. Well, not to a judge in Leeds who had Tommy not only arrested, but also tried, convicted, and sentenced in less than 5 hours. Sentenced to 13 months, much of which he spent in solitary confinement. Now, that conviction was overturned this summer, but now it's time to have an actual, fair, and open hearing of the contempt of court charge. And given how negligent and, in many cases, malicious the media in the UK have been in covering Tommy Robinson, I'm very pleased to be going alongside senior fellow at the True North Initiative, Candice to cover that case on the ground in the United Kingdom this week. In fact, by the time you see this, I might even be in the air as we hopefully bring some real journalism and reporting to what's happening there. Now, I don't consider myself a reporter. I'm a commentator. I have a bias, as every media official does. I'm just honest about mine. But on the subject of Tommy Robinson, I must admit I am not a Tommy Robinson cheerleader. I've had a couple of interactions with him, but I wouldn't say he's a friend. I don't know him well. And there are things that he's said and done that I'm not entirely sold on. But what I can tell you is that I want to bring an approach that demands truth and fairness and accountability, which is more than I can say for much of the media coverage of Tommy Robinson. And I'm going there not because I believe that Tommy Robinson is the guy we all need to line up behind, but because I believe in due process, and more importantly, I believe in hearing from Tommy himself what it is that he stands for and who it is that he actually is. And that's going to be what I hope to take away from this. Now, while on the ground in the United Kingdom, I'm going to be trying to find some other stories that might emerge there. I'm only going to be there for a few days. But I wanted to give you a heads up that we are going to be at the True North Initiative going global, because the question of due process, of freedom for journalists to report, of freedom for activists to cover cases that are of interest to them is a universal challenge. What's happened to Tommy in the courts, what's happened to Tommy in the press, these are things that don't just start and end with Tommy Robinson, but challenges that many people on the right in Canada and other Western nations have to deal with. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you have any questions for us, please do reach out, but stay tuned for a week of amazing coverage at the True North Initiative, the kind of which you are never going to find in the mainstream media. For the True North Initiative, I'm Andrew Lawton.